Hello.
Hey, welcome back everyone to our Calrissian Cup Fall Minor event. I'm of course joined for our second half of the event today. Got one more semifinal match, one grand final match. Of course, joined by Little Hammer and Uplink. You're over on this side? Yes, I have to point this direction to make that work. All right. The visual gags, that's what I bring to the table. That's all I'm here for. It has been a knockdown, drag out set of matches so far. No 3 and outs. Everyone is fighting the hardest they possibly can. Uplink, you got to take a break in that last round. What did you think of the action there between Imperial Guard and Baywatch?
It was intense. I love watching Imperial Guard play. Like it's kind of like watching dancing, really. It's super exciting to see those two. I almost thought Baywatch had it, but they weren't able to pull a comeback, and IG were able to get it going all the way.
Well, gentlemen, it looks like the lobbies are up and rolling. I will hand it off to you boys. Take it away.
Yeah, we've got ourselves semi-final round number 2. It's going to be, make sure my battle pass is Splinter Squadron versus Hut Cartel. Splinter Squadron and Hut Cartel, 2 known teams. Let's see what their loadouts are, though.
And we're seeing the standard Hut Cartel loadout, the 3 defenders, the bomber, and the support.
Targeting Beacon and Supply Droid on that Reaper. Meanwhile, on Splinter Squadron, you guys have 2 X, 2 Ys, and a U. Pretty standard stuff. The X, Jareen and Sculpt with Proton Ion and Ion Proton. The Y, McClunky with a Multi-Lock Goliath and Reflex with the Goliath Multi-Lock. And the Nop with Supply Droid and Targeting Beacon. The map is going to be Fostar Haven. So again, it's a big opener and then a possible slow start in phase number 1.
I love that.
We'll see how these teams do. Again, rocking out, watching. I'm so bad with lore. I know the one's named C-3PO. Don't know what that one's named in particular.
Protocol droid, something.
There we go.
Protocol droid for sure. Whether I don't know, it's probably got some like Easter egg name, knowing motive. But yeah, super excited to see some squadrons today. I was kind of talking about this with R1 before we hopped on, but in the summer majors, Imperial Guard made it all the way up to the finals before they got knocked out by Cavern Angels. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do, getting so close to the finals. Can they knock out Scalp?
Well, yeah, they did last time with a 3-1, right?
They did.
So it all depends how Splinter does in this semi. If they go to the finals, we might see a repeat, a rematch, a grudge match between IG and Splinter. But don't knock Hut Cartel out yet.
In terms of story.
Yeah, they've won so far. And they're playing Empire on Fostar, so we'll see how it goes. As we get into game number 1.
I've been really enjoying watching Hut Cartel play as well. They have some fun strategies, and it's fun to see how aggressive they are with it.
Oh, yeah. Let's see how they do. Again, a lot of defenders. 1 bomber, Sheriff running that bomber, finding that AI stack, flying in, waiting to fire off that Goliath. I don't see anybody coming in to shut down that Goliath. Does fire. Oh, does get dunked. Ion possibly going to get knocked out of the sky, but gets a resupply droid right at that time of getting Ion. Does save Sheriff. The morale sits around half and half with a slight percentage on Splinter. As Splinter gets more and more AI, they go closer towards them, winning the coin flip to the back and forth, and a kill on Star Dude. A little more AI, and Splinter wins this in about a minute to spare. We do see Reflex getting a bit of aggro from a defender from the behind. However, a resupply does go out, able to get back a decent amount of hull from that aggro.
That was a really aggressive opening. So we've got both teams kind of just stepping it up and getting ready to rock and roll.
And just straight up went for Jareen, locking out, getting some ions down on this cruiser. Shield has been drained on C. Pretty weak out there, but again, getting so many resupplies off of Nop coming in and just doing work, keeping everybody alive out here. We do see C at around 65. The shields on Delta almost completely drained too. Morale is stuck, not moving, as they are just making work of these two cruisers.
They're not holding any punches. They know, and they want to go to that final match.
They lose their Corvette, but C out of phaseable. D, they have time to make it out of phaseable as well. It's at 83. Again, these repair droids coming out, keeping everybody alive. Not getting shot down either. Not seeing a lot of player death. Look at that scoreboard here for a second to give us context. 0 deaths on Splinter.
Oh, wow.
1 death on Hut. This is not a match where people are dying compared to the last series we just saw, where we saw a lot of deaths.
Player deaths.
Meanwhile, this light cruiser has been beaconed at 14, at 12, 10, and the flip does happen, but both cruisers, the other one's at 16, are definitely out of phaseable. 30 points to go back if Splinter can confirm these 2 out of phases and not die in the process, right? That's the big one. You can out of phase something, but if you die, that negates a lot of the positives that you got there. 15 points, but then you lose 10, right? So, not the best spot to be in. There goes the first out of phase. Second out of phase is left at 9 hull. Burst cannons coming down as Jareen in between the two. It's just doing consistent burst damage. It's at 1. And there it goes, putting Hut Cartel in a tricky spot with not much morale left to take down both Charlie and Delta. Charlie shields, though, have been knocked down entirely. Delta shields haven't been touched too much. Player kills going back and forth. We see Star Dude falling as well, as they have almost lost the morale. But again, never say never. AI are a tricky one to find on this map. There it goes. Yep. As the Sheriff does fall at 10 points, giving Splinter back this offensive phase. And now it's an ISD assault as they've knocked down both of those frigate cruisers out of phase. So we'll see how they do.
Super, super strong opening. And they've continued the heat. So it's almost like Splinter Squadron is using their own strategy against them and making them play a more standard, because normally Hut Cartel, they go in and they play and they try to take down both of the frigates at the same time, use that to get the morale, and they had it used against them.
Oh yeah. We do see McClunky coming in, getting down that shield to 53. Morale's at half and half, but you are right. Being able to force them into a playstyle that they did not load out for is definitely a tricky spot to be in for Hut Cartel. We see 1 shield ioned, 1 shield destroyed as these players are coming in and just, again, making house of this ISD at 27, 25. That other shield gen does fall as well. 2's down as we go to a flip. Is anybody on power to knock it out as well? Or will the DPS from the ISD come and knock everybody out of the sky? Looks like they had to get out and nobody's going to be in there to knock out that power. That's fine, as they've got quite the window of opportunity they've given themselves, right? As A still has shields, or D still has shields, that is.
Yeah, they still got time, and they can play it. They can almost play with Hut Cartel. Like, they can really control how to move forward. As
we see them come in, we see Lemming come in with the burst cannons, getting down that Nebulon to 82, 80, 77, and falling as the team is on that frigate like Hornets. Continuing their assaults, now down to 50, trying to get this down as quickly as possible. With the way the morale bar is currently, it's going to be a pretty soft reset to full. Though a few AI were found, it's not going to be a perfect reset. Just kidding, as the Goliath does go out. AI were found, that's a lucky stack there. That Nebulon still alive, it'll give 15 points back, but it's only going to be around a half morale bar as they push onto the MC-75. But again, the MC-75 shaped in such a way that they can get some crazy burst in. But they only have 1 bomber up. The rest are running their defenders. It all depends. We do see Liven already in there knocking down that shield gen 2-4. That right shield gen has fallen. Left getting nuked currently. Left is fallen as well, wasting no time on this MC-75 assault. Can they knock down power before the phase ends? We do see Liven getting a bunch of burst damage on the top of the MC-75. Looks like they're not prioritizing power, which if they can get down the hole fast enough would make sense, because weak points will be generated anyway. At 57 finds a weak point. Lemming does knock out that weak point. It's now at 37-30. It looks like they're going to commit to an out-of-phase base race here as Lemming stays in with that burst cannon, but does die. Star Dude out as well at 7. Has the repair droid, but that might not be enough to help him survive as he's continuing to get aggroed.
It's a tough spot to be in. I would have made the same call, though, to kind of try to focus on the out-of-phase. They are on somewhat of the same level, or they were at that point, before they all got knocked out and they were put in a really tough situation.
That running into die, Sheriff gets down the M75 to 26. Liven comes in with the defender. M75 is now down to 23. Meanwhile, the Star Destroyer is down to 2. It's down to 1. They're behind it. They're parking, and Splinter takes game number 1 off of Heart Cartel on Fostar Haven. Not able to get that damage down quick enough on that MC75 to make it count.
They tried, and they got pretty close. Like it was a difference about 18 in the damage versus if they were able to stay alive, I think they may have gotten it to like those previous matches where we saw.
Oh yeah, looking at that scoreboard at McClunky 0128 AI on Fostar, Sheriff with 0323. Capship damage, the star of that show was Liven with 75 and Sculp with 51k on capship damage. As we exit this first game.
Player kills.
Oh yeah, that's surprising too. Yeah, we've got the max was 2 on Jorian and 2 on Sculp, where they went 2-1.
Yeah, it's like in that situation, you almost would have thought, because of how hard AI are to track on that map, that it would be a heavy player kill.
Defenders.
Exactly.
Defenders. Cannot shoot down those defenders. But just the raw DPS that came out of Splinter, they were not able to combat that, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Where do you see this going in the future? Do you expect that we'll see a mix-up next round? I assume we'll see a change of faction. Maybe not, though. We may not see a change of faction, but I assume we'll see one. Do you expect a strategy shift, or do you think they're going to be like, okay, maybe it didn't work on this time, we're going to try it again, though?
If Huck goes on Empire, I mean, I would expect a 2 bomber at the minimum, right? They're fighting against Splinter. Splinter has a track record of getting things done and getting them done quickly. So I'd imagine they want to get some DPS down as quickly as they can. Oh no, I'm misspeaking. They're gonna go New Republic, right? Or
they'll be New Republic.
My brain's a little scrambled there. Woo!
I know, right? I mean, the previous games that we've seen Hunt Cartel as the Empire, it's been such a clean destruction of the other side, and now we're switched. It's almost like, oh, wait a second. They were on their preferred faction.
Yeah. Hut. Yeah, it's a good question. 3 X's maybe? I'm not too sure. They want to get down objective damage. That's my belief here. I don't think they want to have the player kill fight against Splinter. You know, like kind of like play a Cavern Angel sort of strat where you just get down damage quickly.
Yeah, I think honestly, from what we've seen of them in the past games in this tournament so far, I think they're going to stick with the 3 X's, a bomber and a support. Honestly, that's my expectation. And maybe they shift that up, but I don't expect it from what we've seen. It's kind of like we're gonna continue with the strategy and make slight adjustments to that strategy and our play style versus the actual setup of the squad.
Yeah.
But who knows? They could surprise us at any moment. I'm really looking forward to seeing what these teams end up doing, because they're both very strong opponents. They are some of the most aggressive teams that we have so far, and they're both paired up against each other. Are going to try to mess with each other's strategies as much as they possibly can. Whether that's successful, as we've just saw, like it was very successful in that last match. So maybe not, maybe we will. But it's fun seeing the different strategies of each of these teams.
Yeah, it looks like things worked out for Splinter there as one of their machines crashed right as the game ended. So I'm glad for Splinter's sake that it didn't crash during the game. That would have been unfortunate.
That would have been. Could you imagine if they were at 2 damage and one of the teams crashed and then
I know
CARTEL was able to bring it back?
At the end of the game, that's not where you want to have. I mean, we've seen that before, right? We've seen like PC issues in finals.
Splinter Squadron.
Yeah, and with the speed that Squadrons goes, that can just destroy a game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've seen some teams overcome that, but most of the time, if you do have those player drops, it's see you later, guys.
Yeah,
Go cry in a corner now.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but it does happen. Luckily for them, though, it was after the match and not during.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So we're just chilling, waiting,
Just vibing, just hanging out while these players get their machines back up. Hopefully you guys are having a lovely day. Again, it's mid-August. We started all of this stuff in January. I know I said it like a million times, but it still blows my mind.
Mm-hmm.
On
it doesn't
2021
feel like
has just been a year of Squadrons. It's been crazy.
Yeah. It both feels very short and very long.
Yeah. It's my sense of time has really gotten screwy because like it feels like the year in general has been short, but Squadrons has been a long like journey with like chapters, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But then I know it's the joke a lot of people say, but like it still feels like March 2020. Like
yes.
It's
we're in 2020 New Game Plus right now. We've got all of the experience of playing through 2020, but now we're going through it again with that experience.
All the gear.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, we've gone through so many different changes even within Squadrons as well. The meta has changed so drastically from launch in October.
Can you remember that we had a time we didn't have custom matches?
Right?
Like, oh man. That was like a whole like
a
power hour, you know, like just a whole different world. 5-mans, like, and now we're like it's just a whole different world. I mean, there's a world that we didn't have defenders. There was the oops all A-wings, you know, like just a completely different game. Like
And
now we rarely see interceptors, but I remember back in the day, it's like the running thing was like you could run all interceptors and still win on New Republic. How the times have changed.
It's wild. I mean, one thing has stayed true ever since the B-wing was added. We've seen very little of it in competitive play, sadly. But the defender has had such a huge impact on the game. It is pretty crazy how many players have decided to move to that versus the interceptors, because like you said, the interceptors were such a huge part of the meta. Everyone had them. Everyone.
Oh yeah. And I mean, the thing is that the X-wing can. I mean, like the way the New Republic is, like, in the fact of the defender being as elusive as it is and as slippery as it is, kind of knocks like the A-wing out of purpose, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the defender kind of knocks the interceptor out of purpose.
Yep.
By being so slippery and being able to get in and get out and to get those player kills and confirm them.
Yeah, there's definitely less of a need for them, and I think we were talking about this earlier in the tournament. We see a move towards the X-wings. Like, they've buffed the X-wings in ways, and you can set up an X-wing to be as effective and have more health than an A-wing. So
yeah.
What's
exactly,
really
right? The A-wing's just gonna die.
Also, we have a question.
Yeah, I see it.
Hammer, what are the top 5 reasons the B-wing is the best ship in Squadrons?
It's big, it's bulky, it's beautiful, it's bodacious. I
like bodacious.
I mean, it's Burley, but I don't want that to be my fifth one. I got the magical producer in my ear gave me the fifth one. It's banging, bopping, booling, like it just goes.
Yes.
As y'all know, I do like the B-Wing. And it's not even a joke. I like the B-Wing. I had the toy as a kid, and I was just walking around the basement and like going upstairs going, woo, like fun ship, fun times.
The B in B-Wing stands for best, obviously, best wing.
In VR too, like when that patch came out, and again, we're just waiting for the players to load in while we're hanging out here, guys, with the machines crashing. But when the B-Wing came out, the patch day happened, and I was excited. I think I ignored work that day just to mess around in the B-Wing. But I had it in VR, and I was just spinning the cockpit because I was like, "Whoa, my god!" like, "Whoa," because you can't see it when you're playing in like flat screen or pancake or whatever you want to call it. But in VR, you can like move your head forward and like stare up,
Mm-hmm. Oh man, and also like it's almost more impactful. I remember Bomb Squadron. # Bomb Squadron was robbed. It was me, Wolf, and Bombastic, and a couple other guys, Tristan, and only F1. We all hopped in and we did all a 5 B-Wing squad. And we just sat there all lined up, not moving, and just spinning around the wing of the B-Wing.
Men, form a line!
It's just such an iconic ship. And while sadly it's not very effective, there are some strategies you can use for sure with the B-Wing. It's just not as effective as you would want it to be to take the risk to put
especially at the higher end. Like I like the B. I think the B-Wing's fun in ranked ladder because depending on where you are in ladder, you can rock the B-Wing with like dumbfire rockets and with overcharged lasers just fire into enemies that are flying straight into your flagship, and they just immediately melt.
Yeah. Also, Steve wants everyone to know if we can just Star War.
Just have a big Star War.
Yes.
What are we Star Warring over?
Oh, so you like Star Wars? Name every star in war.
Yeah, name every Star War in Star Wars.
There's so many of them. So many of them. Get you someone who loves you the way Hammer loves the B-Wing.
You so precious when you smile. Just the B-Wing with a cursed emoji on it or something. It plays rent free in my head, folks.
It's confirmed. Hammer is the B-Wing.
Am I the B? Am I? Whoa.
Am I?
Whoa, what's going? Oh, never mind. It's all good now. My Discord had a moment there. Oh! I think lobby is.
Oh, is it?
Lobby is up. Yeah, we're good to go. Well, not good to go. Well, let me get my machines in first.
So a little inside baseball here. Hammer has like 50 different computers that he hops into to give you all the play-by-play in Star Wars Squadrons Calrissian Cup. He's got a command center with at least PC.
It screams I don't go outside, folks. It's got a PC. It's got my dad's Xbox that I borrowed. It's got a PS4. It's got 8 monitors because I also do work at the station for my job. It's intense. I like it though, but it's intense.
It's pretty epic. It's intimidating for sure. When they said work from home,
I live from home.
I'm ready. I've been training for this moment. Okay, we're getting loaded up and we're ready almost to rock and roll and check out the next round of Hut Pink Cartel versus Splinter Squadron. The first round, if you're just jumping back in, a little bit of a recap here. We saw Splinter Squadron take the victory last round. And Hut Pink Cartel were the Empire. So we saw a New Republic win there. And let's see kind of what we're looking at here.
Yeah, looking at these loadouts.
Oh my gosh,
Defender again.
They're sticking with the factions.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, I feel I need to load in to see what the map is again. Can you remind me what the map is for this game? I was too busy looking at everything else. It is Nadiri.
Okay, Nadiri Dockyards. Interesting.
Well, it makes we'll see how it plays out with 3 defenders, 1 bomber, and a Reaper on Nadiri opening. I mean, unless they expect to lose the opener and are trying to set themselves up to pick off Splinter coming out of the opener to reset a quick win. The issue that I see is that that's the one time on Nadiri, except for the very end of the game, that you have reliable AI. And of course, Splinter running a 2 bomber, 2 fighter support loadout here with Nop doing again the supply droid and targeting beacon on New Republic. I'm curious. Well, I guess we'll see what happens. It might. I don't know.
Splinter does love them some New Republic, so that doesn't surprise me. But it also at the same time surprises me because of the preference that Hut Cartel has with the Empire.
Yeah. I'm in thought right now, trying to see what could be going on in Hut's plan with 3 defenders on Nadiri. I guess we're gonna wait and see here, folks, because actually, hold on. They can knock down all the Goliaths. That sets them up to easily find the 2 Goliaths because they know where the 3 packs are, right? They're static rotation. So they can outrace the bombers coming in, and they have a 3rd defender to do any sort of aggro to shut down like an Ion on the Raider. I mean, that could be a strat right there, right? Deny the Goliaths and deny an Ion on the Corvette Raider to be able to negate any sort of opener. And now they've got 3 player killers on the field, or 4 3 with the 3 defenders, with any sort of positive coming out on that bomber. But we'll see if that plays out in execution. As we're getting close, we do see Reflex finding an AI stack. We do see McClunky finding an AI stack as well. Meanwhile, we do see some Ions going out live and in the defender, trying to knock Reflex out of the sky. Morale's at half and half. 1 minute and 26 seconds to go. We do see 1 Goliath does hit its mark. Multi-locks from Splinter hitting their mark as well. The morale's at half and half as Sheriff is able to find a pack as well. Ions going on Reflex. Reflex does, in fact, get knocked out of the sky by these defenders. Morale's back at half and half. Trying to knock Nop out. It's not going too swell. Lemming coming in as well, trying to get some sort of kills on these defenders. Jareen at half hold. Stardew does get stuck on some terrain and does die, however, pushing the morale back in Splinter's favor. They've knocked down the shields on that Raider. We see Nop trying to knock some damage down on that beaconed Raider to get it out and get 20 points for Flip. Corvette has a little bit of shields left with 97 hull. Supply droids going out. Jareen in there getting damage down on this Raider, but again, 2 AI at this point, and to Flip 1 AI. Depends on what their priorities are on this opener. We do see interesting stuff out here.
So they're kind of just chilling for a little bit here. As I say that, they do shift. We have the flip over to Scalp and his team with Splinter Squadron here. What are we looking at?
Oh, we already see members of Splinter coming in to Charlie, knocking down the shields almost entirely as Nob is out there with the ion cannon. Does knock down Charlie's shields. It is now just whole city. Morale is pretty statically at the top, though I say that, and Stardew does find a few AI, or the sheriff that is, finds a few AI for Hut Cartel, but the damage keeps on raining down from Splinter Squadron.
Okay. Dude, Splinter Squadron, again, they're doing such a good job with taking dealing so much damage on these cruisers already. And they're working on D as well. They've got the shields just about now taken out. So they're looking to get both of them. Get both of them down pretty low to possibly take them both out of phase to capitalize on that morale shift, which has been a set strategy for the current meta of Squadrons as well. You really use that to get that morale boost to your side and take it away from the others.
Let's see what happens here. C is almost gone, definitely out of phaseable. D is definitely out of phaseable as well. They've got enough of a morale window here that they're stuck in a goofy spot. They can either just wait it out and wait for CARTEL to do something and find that AI. They can attempt to get a few PKs here. I think they're going to have to wait it out, right? There's no point in wasting those 30 points on offense when they can shut down the offense of CARTEL on a map like Nadiri.
Exactly. I think CARTEL knows this and knows what they're trying to do and just trying to prolong it.
And there's no Corvette Raider ups. There's no passive damage that's going to deny Splinter their opportunity either. Yeah, so we're just hanging out here as Splinter just wants this round to end. The thing is that if Splinter waits too long, I mean, Hut can come in and just start chipping away from a distance on the frigates and try to get a pick.
Oh nope, here we go. They're losing some of the morale here.
And yeah, we're just hanging
so
out
intently.
as we're just Splinter just refuses to move forward, which makes sense. It's not strategic too, and Hut sits here as well.
they earned back. Oh, okay, it's going back down.
That's a game of chicken out here. I don't even have much to say.
What is going on right now?
Again, the thing is that oh no, there's the flip. But like,
okay, there we go.
You can still launch piercings at frigate cruisers during that phase.
Yeah.
So unless I forget if that's a ban strat in Cal. To double check the rulebook. Okay, which I guess if it is, that forces a stalemate like that to even exist, right? Meanwhile, though, back in the game, we've got ourselves on an assault for Hut CARTEL. Meanwhile, Splinter comes in and knocks down the two cruisers, giving 30 points back, putting the morale back at half and half almost immediately at 55 seconds into this assault phase for Hut CARTEL.
I don't know, and all of the times that we've been casting Squadrons, at least how much I've been casting Squadrons, I have never seen a situation like that where they were in such a they were waiting for the other team to win.
To pass the baton, the other team refusing to pass said baton. Yeah, no, it is a weird spot to be in because I'll have to double check later because I don't want to misspeak. I have to double check what the rule book says for the Calrissian Cup on what is legal to do, because I know in some settings trying to out of phase or try to like piercing is looked down upon, or it was at one point. So that might make that weird edge case scenario a game of chicken where it's like, I don't want to move forward. Well, I don't want to move forward. I want to bait you into knocking these out. Well, I'm not going to knock them out. There's no passive damage to knock them out. So like we're just going to sit here. But we begin a assault on the ISD from Splinter as they're slowly beginning their approach on the ship. We do see 3 of them get through the main line. We do see the assault on the shields. 1 is behind the ISD, getting down some damage. We do see Jareen coming in, disabling the left shield. Scalp trying to get under the shields to take down the other shield as well. Gets in, knocks down the Ion, starts nuking into left. Left is now below half. And there goes right shield. The other shield is looking pretty weak as well. Both shields are down, 2 subsystems down. On on the ISD. We see a rotation from Sculpt to Power, starts bursting into Power with the morale still in their favor, albeit slowly getting dwindled away by Hut Cartel.
This is
Power's
such
now
a
down to
beautiful spot
73.
for Splinter Squadron to be in, honestly. Like, they've been playing the game very well.
Oh yeah.
Which is why they're one of the top, one of, if not the top squads.
Oh. Scub looking pretty weak out here. The Star Destroyer down to 53. Again, Power is still up, but of course they've knocked down the hole on the ISD enough where weak points were made regardless, so the efficacy of knocking out Power kind of dwindles at that point. Both shields are down. They could park. They really don't have much incentive to, because they still have both up Charlie and Delta, and unless, you know, they can, Hawk Cartel can one-phase this, they are in a comfy spot with that Star Destroyer sitting around half hull.
Yeah.
But I mean,
but that could be...
it was the turtle in the hair, you know, the hair got lazy and the turtle won, so like never say never. And we see Stardude lining up, sitting on defense of the ISD just in case. Meanwhile, Splinter Squadron on top of that Raider trying to knock it down, get that 20 points back. And we will see Delta is getting nuked into by one member of Hut Cartel, knocks it out. The ISD assault begins now. The Raiders still quite a distance away from the MC-75. Meanwhile, two members of Hut are in and on top the MC-75, looking to get some damage down on that ship. Lemming comes in, is looking to get a shield popped off. Liven is already in, looking to possibly get the other shield as well. Right shield has fallen. Liven pretty weak out here. Lemming hasn't been contested too far yet. Liven, of course, does die as pretty weak out here, but we do see Lemming coming to the other shield, start to burst into it, gets it down as well. Two shields down. Power still entirely up, dumping into that hull. We do see a weak point on the top of the M75 that Lemming does see. Lemming has not been knocked down yet, continues to dump burst cannons into this MC75, has been finally weakened, however. The MC75 down to 67. All of Splinter Squadron is here trying to defend.
This,
as hull damage is still raining down. Raiders still up.
This is interesting, man. This is scary for Splinter, honestly. I think.
Yeah, there's a call here that was to not go for out of phase. But the MC75 is at 6, at 5, at 4, 3! They get the MC75! Hut Cartel taking a game off of Splinter Squadron here in the semifinals. Made a call to not park, and that call cost them the game.
Dude, you called it 100%. It was the turtle in the hair. They were in such a good spot. They couldn't have even imagined that they were going to get knocked down.
Oh, boy. Well, looking at Hut Cartel, 50k capship damage on Spoonie, 48k on Sheriff, 55 on Liven, 3-1 on Liven, 3-0 on Lemming. On Splinter Squadron, you know, McClunky with 23k capship damage and 32 AI, 30k capship damage on Reflex with 24 AI, 2-2 on Nop, 1-1 on Jareen. No, they a choice was made, and that happens sometimes. Right? Hut Cartel came in and had a really stellar one-phase MC75. Yeah. With that being what happened, now we're at a 1-1 for the semifinals, round number 2 of the Calrissian Cup Fall Minor. Again, it's 1 for Splinter, 1 for Hut Cartel.
Like, you go through all of that trouble to put the end pass there. Like, you're not going to make any effort. You're going to put it on the other team to push forward so you can get that morale back with the cruisers or the frigates going down. And then you're not going to capitalize it when you could have definitely out of phased it in the belief that you have it in the bag. That was a bad call. I'm just gonna be blunt. That was a bad call. Yeah, it's good for Hut Cartel for capitalizing on that, though. They saw the weakness. They saw that they were underestimated, and they're like, "Yo, let's do this. Let's just one phase the entire thing. Wow.
Yeah, I'm still kind of winding down from that. Sorry, I'm just thinking through. Making sure that I get into the next lobby.
Wow.
Hulk Cartel being 1-1. Also, I'm watching chat currently too. I should be casting the event, but you guys are on a delay, by the way. So I'm watching you guys react to the end of that game right there.
It's fun seeing everyone like, oh my gosh.
I know, yeah.
Goodness greater. Goodness gracious. Yep, that was a tough situation. Good on Hut Cartel though. Good on them for getting that game off of Splinter Squadron. We'll see how they do in the next round. But I wonder if there will be a faction flip, or if they're gonna if it's decision to the other team. Maybe, you know what? Because they're both in their preferred faction right now. They're both in their preferred faction. Maybe the strategy, because I think it's Hut Cartel's decision to choose the faction, right? And then Splinter Squadron chooses the map. If I remember correctly.
I'm not too sure. I'm so bad at keeping track of that stuff.
I think it's that case. So as a Hut Cartel, you may be looking to kind of disrupt everyone's feelings and be like, you know what, we're both going to be on an even playing field by playing the lesser preferred faction for both of us. Depending on the map. I mean, depending on the map, that may backfire on them. So I am not sure. I'm not sure what's going to be going on here.
Yeah, I don't know. As we're waiting for the lobby to come up for game number 3.
This is spicy, man.
Yeah, this is spicy. This is fun. It was a good time.
This is nice...
Again, this is the Fall Minor. We've got ourselves left 2 more events in the Calrissian Cup, brought to you by the Gaming Stadium. We got ourselves the Fall Major. I'm going to get us some dates here while we're hanging out, letting these players get ready for the next game and getting their lobby up. Bada bing, bada boom. The Fall Major is going to be a $2,000 prize pool. That's going to be happening September 18th and 19th in the next month, in about 4 or 5 weeks. I can't do math in my head while talking. And the grand finals, the championship, the big boy itself, going to be October 2nd and 3rd. And I'm pretty sure that's exactly a year anniversary of Star Wars Squadrons. Let me double check. Star Wars.
It's pretty close to
Squadrons.
Pretty close to it,
October
right?
1st no, the Google lies. It's October 2nd. So yeah, it's exactly a year anniversary for Star Wars Squadrons.
Gracious.
And we'll be here having a good time.
Wow, it does not feel like a year.
I know, not in the slightest. I'm getting older, time's going faster. The cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon.
Little boy
is
blue
how it goes.
and the man in the moon. When you coming home, Dad?
I don't know when.
We'll get together then.
Yeah, and we'll play some Squadrons then. Let me get the lobbies up.
That was beautiful. Beautiful. We'll be here.
We'll be here. We'll be hanging out with you guys. That's the thing.
I
on the
expect a
anniversary.
cover with your band of that song.
We could. That'd be very goofy.
So, Squadrons, crazy. Definitely prepare yourselves for that finale, grand finals experience, because it is going to be incredibly intense and very, very entertaining, with a lot riding on the line. You have the money, and then you have the pride and the satisfaction of bringing in the victory over the almost year-long tournament series of the Calrissian Cup.
I can't believe it's almost been a year, man. I know. Sorry, chat. I've been saying it a lot today, but it's all in perspective, right? It's like it's mind-numbing how long it's been, and it's been a blessing to broadcasting this with you guys, with you Uplink and R1, and for all you watching, of course. Thank you. And while we're waiting for while we're waiting for this game to come in, I want to do another shout out again. The team here is excited to support Make-A-Wish for this final stretch of the Calrissian Cup. We're asking you, the community, to help us reach our goal of $5,000 Canadian so we can help make some wishes come true. To support or donate, check out tgs.gg/wish, WISH. Again, to Make-A-Wish, thank you for coming with us on this final stretch. I do appreciate it. As I said before, it is a organization close to my heart, and I'm glad that they are working with us today.
Definitely. It's a fantastic organization, and it's a great cause to enjoy. And it's not just for those who don't expect to not survive. It's also an organization that helps support many wonderful people on having some joy through some of the sickness. So it's a great organization, and if you can support that, we want to have a positive location and a positive part of this community. And because gaming is such a wide and diverse experience, we want to have some positivity in that as well. And now we're jumping into some squadrons here. We do have the faction shift, so we did see it. And Hot Cartel sticking with their loadout as usual.
Yeah, 3X1Y and the support. Meanwhile, on the Empire, you got yourselves Knob with the Reaper with supply droid targeting beacon, McClunky with the Bomber with Goliath and multi-lock, Jareen with the Defender with APS and Ion, Skull Bwaka with the double Ion burst cannon TIE Fighter, and a Reflex with the Rotary Goliath multi-lock reinforced hull Bomber. So it should be good to watch. Again, the map's going to be Gallatin. The game's going to be number 3. Both teams have a win so far in this best of 5 in the Calrissian Cup Fall Minor. And we'll see how it goes into game number 3. Again, the factions have flipped. Splinter Squadron is playing the Empire for the first time in this series on Gallatin.
The cheeky nugs, man. The cheeky nugs. Speak to me. Oh, hey. Also, if some chicken nugget companies want to sponsor any of us, except for Steve, because he hates chicken nuggets apparently.
I don't know how. Steve, what are you doing? They're so good and tasty.
It's true, especially these ones, but they can be very dangerous. So eat them at your own risk.
As we pop into game number 3, let's see how these teams do on their approach. Again, Splinter Squadron playing the Empire, Hot Cartel playing the New Republic on Gallatin. Game number 3 in the fall minor of Calrissian Cup. Again, semifinals, not the finals. So whoever wins this best of 5 is going to be fighting IG today after this series is done. And judging by the wins so far, it could be anybody's game. 1 minute and 30 seconds to go on this phase. We do see Splinter getting some AI here, getting a slight lead, getting a stack with Goliath, getting a player kill on Sheriff. That is huge, massive. We do see McClunky, however, getting low at 28 hull. Lemming desperately trying to close in and get that kill to lengthen out this opening phase at 22 at 19. Just cannot confirm, though. Get a little bit of a bonk as McClunky is able to get out of there. And oh no, Lemming does die in the chaos. Oh no, but Nop is down as well. But they do lose that opening phase, and Splinter does take it as Empire.
Strong opening from Splinter Squadron there. Let's see if they can capitalize it and not have the downfall of pride.
Yeah. Okay, so we are on Assault Force Splinter Squadron on the approach. We see Reflex coming in. Sculp is in as well to get those ions out and locked. Jareen is there as well. They're all there taking down the shields on Delta. If we look at the minimap, we do see that Delta is the weak side as the Raider is coming into Charlie. So they're going for the non-Raider side first. McClunky dumping rotaries into Delta. We do see continual damage again We will see what all happens out here. Apologies for this stream, but I'll keep it going for you guys. Let's see. Delta at below half. C's lost all of its shields as well. The morale is very much held by Splinter right now, but a few more AI are being found by Hut Cartel. It's now back at half and half as Hut Cartel does take down the Raider. Splinter getting the Delta in out of phaseable. It's now at 11 hull. At 10 hull, it is falling, saving it for the out of phase, however, then rotating over to C to get C as close as possible, but a player death does happen. Nop does fall. As we wait here for the phase to end, knocking down Charlie with that little bit of window they have. One more AI and it'll flip back to Hut Cartel. C and D are both in out of phase territory. As the flip does happen, we will see McClunky come in and finish off these two Nebulons. Here comes in Nebulon number 1 at 13 hull left, 12 now, has been beaconed. One more rotation and it will fall. Meanwhile, while they're getting those two out of phase, attempt to, well, Sculpt dies, Reflex is dead, McClunky is almost dead. Hut Cartel coming in to the cruisers, takes down the shields on C, and is continuing their assault pretty much uncontested as Splinter Squadron is going in and trying to confirm these out of phases. They do in fact confirm both of them. Corvette is still up.
That was a rough bonk there.
Yeah. Galatan is the map of bonks as it goes.
You are the dipping sauce on Galatan.
Yeah. And what flavor? Who knows? C getting knocked down slowly but surely. Morale's at half and half as Splinter's able to find some AI. But again, the burst cannons coming out from Hut Cartel gets Charlie and out of phase. D shields have just now fallen. They're gonna rotate over to D as well. Knock down D. It has been beaconed, now down to 86. We do see multi-locks and Goliath successfully hit it, knocking it down to 59. It is quickly falling. Hut Cartel making up some ground here. If they can get both of these cruisers in out of phase and have a successful defense, they'll be in a really good position. That light cruiser at 22, it's definitely out of phaseable. 20, a little more rotation. 19, definitely out of phaseable here. They're going to go for the first out of phase. Of course, the other one is basically dead. There we go. There's the first out of phase. We're going to see Spoonie going back for a second out of phase as well as they're on a defensive flagship. I do wonder what their comp mix-up is going to be out here. We see, looks like two of them are out getting the out of phase. Meanwhile, two of them are going in to defend the N75 in one set at the nose of the N75 for this defense against Splinter as they come in. McClunky, though, in the bomber, gets under the shield, starts rotoring the shields, but has a little bit of a bonk. They do destroy the left shields, but McClunky gets ioned and possibly dunked out of the sky with 32 hull left and a tractor beam hitting him hard, but does not die. Reflex is down, Sculpt is down. McClunky again at 25 hull. The morale is being lost for Splinter. Gets a repair droid from Nop, however. Nop surviving very comfortably out here. Right shield down as well. Both shields down on the MC-75. But again, morale is losing quickly. A player kill here, an AI there, and it'll go back towards Hut Cartel. It is up to Splinter to put this in a position where they can easily defend, but they lose that flip. The hull is around 60, 70 on the MC-75. Power still up, targeting still, but these shields are down. Meanwhile, let's see how they end up playing this on the New Republic. Jareen has a bit of a bonk on a chicken tender out here, loses almost all hull, but still has a lot of shields left thanks to the magic of the defender. We do see two of Hut Cartel, Spoonie, and I believe Liven coming into the nose of the ISD, getting down the damage on those shields. Right shield takes a little bit of damage, but not enough to knock it out of the sky, not getting disabled either. Morale is still very much held with them, but Spoonie very weak at 33 hull with half shield. Right shield does fall. Left shield has been disabled, getting knocked out of the sky as well, but not gone quite yet. It all depends on how well this attack phase goes, to be honest with you. Because if they get it down enough, they get on both those shields, it's going to be parkable. We do see Spoonie coming getting down hull damage. The one shield has been disabled, not destroyed. Morale's at half and half. Spoonie going for burst cannons on the top of the ISD. They lose their raider. It's going to flip soon. Will somebody prioritize taking down that shield so it doesn't come back up on out of phase? The Starcher is down to 22. It looks like, in fact, Sheriff is coming in to finish off that shield. That's definitely parkable now. We're going to see Sheriff in that bomber go behind the ISD to start dumping into it. I believe... Ooh, that Star Destroyer very weak. It's at 5, but Sheriff does fall. Lemming is the only one alive right now in a 1v5 on the... Oh, it's at 2. It's at 1. Can he get it? I believe he does, in fact, get it. And Hut Cartel takes game number 2 against Splinter Squadron coming in.
Also, I love the pink skins for Squadrons.
Hut Cartel pink. Looking at that scoreboard, we got ourselves Sheriff with 24 AI kills and 46k capture damage. Live with 274k capture damage. Spoonie 0 and 3 with 24k. Lemming with 224k, and Star Dude with 4.7. Meanwhile, on Splinter McClunky with 24 AI and 32k capture damage. Scalp with 37k. Joreen with 23k. Nop with 8.9k, and a Reflex with 15 AI and 30k capture damage. Game number 3 going to Hut Cartel.
Hut Cartel, man, freaking beasting it there. They did what they needed to do. They pulled it out. It's almost like Scalp's like they're reeling from that, or Splinter Squadron is reeling from that. Though Scalp did some really good damage with those player kills, pulling off 5 just himself there. So he was doing a really good job dealing some damage on those for sure.
Yeah, solid plays. I'm watching the replay over here just so I can get a second eye over here. I do see it's solid plays coming out. Good RNG for the week for the hull breaches as well. As most members are able to find them relatively quickly, and getting that shield knockdown, though it probably wasn't needed, it does give them the window they need at the end for just one member of Hut Cartel to come in and to get the little bit of laser damage they needed.
Yeah.
So with that, continue.
They are really putting Scalp in a really tough situation each time, or Splinter Squadron. Scalp and Splinter Squadron are just so unanimous, man. It's hard to separate them sometimes, but Splinter Squadron, they put them in a tough situation because I would have made the same decisions every time as Splinter Squadron for sure. Like they had to do something, and they had to do what they did, but still, it's in a rough situation each time.
Oh yeah, man. With that being said, going into game number 4, Hut Cartel up 2, Splinter at 1. Hut has the advantage here. They win one more game, it'll be a Hut IG Grand Finals. Splinter now has to win 2 games in a row to be able to get to finals. We will see how they do. Again, I don't know what the map is going to be or faction, but again, this has been a day of slugfests. Everybody's going straight for the jaw. Straight for the nose to break it. Yep. Star Wars violence. It is a Star War out here. It
is.
Oh. Like, he said the line.
He did it. He said it. It's the equivalent of getting your arms ripped off by Chewbacca. Really.
Yeah. Let the Wookiee win.
But each team has their own Chewbacca. It's, man. I'm wondering what's going to be happening next. Like, can Hut Pink Cartel bring it out to the victory? I know there was a poll ran on the stream.
Oh, I didn't even realize.
60, I think it was 63 or 67% of the people voted for Splinter Squadron to take the victory. But maybe that's not going to be paying off for you if you did vote that way. Possibly. I mean, it's still possible for Splinter and the Splinter Squadron to bring out the victory. We've seen bigger comebacks for sure, but it's still a hill to climb.
Oh yeah, what a day so far too. We've had a lot of back and forths. Just thinking through the match that you guys had at the beginning, and then the second match, and now it's been a fun day. I'm glad that we haven't. There's been no sweeps on stream.
I mean,
there's barely been
that's what
there's
you
barely
hope
been
for, too.
there's barely been any sweeps off stream too.
Mhm.
So it's teams are refining and getting to a point where it's getting dangerous for everybody involved.
It is. every single team that we've got here, they have definitely showed why they are here. They've showed their skill, and they've shown how well that they team up to each other. I mean, everyone's pretty much on the same level. It's kind of just what combination and if you're having a good day or a bad day.
Oh, 100%. Oh,
I'm wondering why we haven't seen much Yavin, man. Like, what's going on here?
I think it's Yavin. It goes fast, right? So you can play. You have less room for, like, you have more time to play out your strats and other maps, right? Yavin is like flip, dead.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a map that it gets picked at the end when maps have been exhausted. You want to pick through your first rounds of maps, things like Fostar, or maps that you can like make up ground with like PK and not have to worry about the enemy constantly getting Goliath 5 stacks on defense. Yeah.
It's a shame. I love Yavin, but you make a good argument there.
Oh yeah, I love Yavin too. Especially love playing Yavin again when I go into ranked ladder, because at certain levels of ranked, you don't see a lot of slippery slidey play. So again, the B wing, the big beautiful wing, the best wing, you just when they fly straight in, you fly straight at them, and you just have everything firing, and they cannot compete every single time.
Yes. Bring on the B wings.
The best wing.
The best wing, the bangin' wing, the bodacious wing.
The Boolin wing. And get myself into these lobbies again. It's going to be game number 4. Hot Cartel up 2-1. Putting Splinter on the back pedal today in these semifinals. That's not the correct password, apparently. I can't type and talk. I'm glad on the gaming stadium streams, you at least can't see my screen. I had this bad habit of putting in passwords while people were watching, which is definitely a no-no. So.
Oh my goodness. Oh man. Some Squadrons, some Star Wars, some back and forth destruction. When we first started this, I would not have expected the rounds to go as they have. Like that, I think it was that the all goes back to that one moment where they got one-faced.
Yeah. It's I haven't seen enough of Hut Cartel until today to have a good feel on how they play. Because a lot of Hut Cartel's games, just from the roll of the dice, have not been on stream. Or they've not been games that I've directly casted. So I have a better feel for them now. And yeah, it's close. It's close.
They have a really good strategy, and if they can pull it off, it's very successful. Pulling it off, though, it requires things to go just as they need to. So, it's confusing to me as someone who will like switch up the loadout that I have depending on the other team. Like I'll have 2 different ones, and like depending on the situation or depending on the opposite team, I'll like switch around my loadouts and which ships I play. But for Hut Cartel, they just go with the flow, man. They have a strategy, and they are working on that strategy, and they'll make micro adjustments to how they specifically play the game versus the loadout of their squadron.
Oh yeah.
Which I respect. I respect that.
So going into game number 4, the map is actually Yavin.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. And it looks like Splinter's going to be playing Galactic Empire. I can't speak. Hut Cartel, that's a tongue twister, is going to be playing the New Republic. So
Oh, interesting.
We'll see.
I would have
see how it
expected the
goes.
reverse, honestly.
I mean, the thing is with Galactic Empire, I still, and maybe Chad, you can tell me I'm way off base, and this is my opinion, and opinions are subjective. But with the fact that Galactic Empire can just objectively get across the map faster than New Republic can with boost on boosting, Empire is definitely at an advantage to sweep Yavin. I do think that as things get drug out, obviously with good supply droids and all that jazz, NR again with any game, if it gets dragged out, NR has the advantage. But I do imagine Splinter wants to get this done quick as Empire, and will get immediately in there, get those Goliaths like boosted off, and go for some hard hitting damage immediately.
Definitely. Also, may I say that from this angle in the shadow of your shoulder, it looks like you have like one of those leather gun straps, and you're like a cop from the night.
Do some like suspenders and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like
doing some mafia busting, you see?
Yes.
Yeah.
We've got some squadrons, hey?
There's some squadrons, you see? Oh. I can't do. I suck with accents. I got my Midwestern one. Past the ranch, eh? Don't you know?
Oh, don't
Oh,
you
yeah,
know?
you betcha. Oh, yeah. Speaking of which, the gaming stadium is Canadian. Yeah. Proudly out of Vancouver, Canada. Unless I get a voice in my ear telling me that that's completely wrong, I'm going to say it. Proudly out of Vancouver, Canada. The gaming stadium. Which where's that? Well, hold on. I'll look at it later. Right now, the loadouts. Splinter Squadron, the 2 bombers, a fighter, defender, and a Reaper. The defender rocking an APS ion missile, Scalp with the fighter running double ions. The bombers, Reflex and McClunky, Goliath, multi-locks, and Nop with supply droid targeting beacon. And on CARTEL, 3 fighters, a bomber, and a support. The support running targeting beacons and supply droid. The fighters running ion conch, and proton conch, I believe. And the bomber is probably running Goliath and multi-lock. Though I'm not too sure because I got distracted with some geography in my head. Apology, guys. Trying to remember if Vancouver's near Toronto. I don't think it is.
It is not.
Yeah, that's
West Coast, baby.
Look at that beautiful map of clouds. The clouds are fun to run too because they give invis, right? So if you're willing to take a little bit of damage to your hull, you can boost into them and then boost out of them. On like approach of like assault cruisers and all that jazz. Yeah, no, been a fun day. Loading into game number 5. Again, Huck Cartel up 1. If they win 1 more, they go to the finals against IG. Splinter down 1, have to win 2 in a row to go to finals. Let's see how these teams play it out.
I am so pumped to see what each of these teams bring to this match. Like, this is make or break time.
Oh, yeah. Let's see these teams lining up. Sheriff does find his stack of TIE fighters. Spoonie getting in, looking for a possible pick on Jareen. Invis clouds are being taken advantage of by both teams. The morale is slowly going towards Splinter's favor, but Reflex getting quite assaulted in the sky out here. Does get a resupply droid, though, keeping him alive. Liven not able to confirm that kill. Morale's back at half and half for both of these teams. Nob at 14 health, but full shields, trying to stay alive, playing the best way Nop knows how, a very slippery support. But again, the AI attrition war is happening with Huck Cartel taking a slight lead over Splinter. Not a lot of player kills are happening, but a lot of hulls are pretty low. Nop is nearly dead in hull, so is Lemming. Lemming gets that resupply, though, and is able to live. But never say never, as that Raider for Splinter is very weak. They get that. That's going to be 20 points going back. 30 seconds to go. This is definitely a slugfest of an opener on Yavin. No one wants to give this one up. Nop at 12 again. Nop just not dying. Who is it going to be? They're going for player kills at this moment, but Hut does lose. Ooh, Hut gets that player kill on Nop finally, and Raider and Corvette are both down, but an AI stack was found by Splinter, getting that 15 points back is a full 15. and finding another AI stack right now. You can see that +3 slowly coming in, but meanwhile, it looks like Hut has found one as well, but it's not going to be fast enough as Splinter does get this opening phase, but not a clean opening phase. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Again, this is Yavin. Yavin can go super quick.
It can. And with both of these teams, with the skill level that they have, it could go very quick. It could go very, very quick.
I mean, just to show how quick it is, I looked away to go look at the scoreboard for a second. I looked back, and D's shields are gone. The morale is roughly around half and half. You know, Reflex is getting knocked out. Nop gets ioned and possibly ion nuked. He does get dunked out of the sky. The morale is going back towards Hut's favor, but again, with the speed of Yavin, D's hull is slowly getting drained around the halfway point. The shields on C are at half, but also getting nuked into it the same exact time. But they lose that Raider. It does flip back. Neither Nebulons are out of phaseable at this moment. It's not going to stop them, though. Well, Nebulon, well, one of them's at 27. That's definitely out of phaseable.
Yeah.
A little bit of work, but out of phaseable. We'll see if Jareen commits to it. Jareen is currently the one attempting to get the burst cannon damage down on that Nebulon at 22. Looks like he might be peeling, however, and he is, in fact, peeling. Going to get some damage on that Corvette instead. Meanwhile, on Hut Cartel, we do see a knockout of Delta shields. A few AI being found by Splinter, but the rest of them are all out there getting damaged on these cruisers. They have been beaconed. And we see Spoonie getting some ions out on Charlie as well to get down these shields on both of these cruisers, flying back and forth between the two. One is down to 77.
Ooh.
The other still has a bit of shields. The morale's getting closer to half and half. I think Corvette is still up. That'll be massive when that falls. But
they're
definitely
still doing some really good damage here. Like, they're doing a good spread. They both have C and D shields down, C shields down, and then they've got D with quite a bit of damage on it as well. So they're getting they're set up in a really good situation.
If they can
capitalize on it.
If they can get down, if Spoonie can get down this cruiser with his team to out of phase, well, the flip does happen. It puts them at an advantage because Splinter was not able to get down both A or B in their runs to out of phase. But I say that, and that frigate is down to around like 30. I think they're going to attempt to go for it, but well, we'll see if it plays out, right? Meanwhile,
I make
on
that decision too.
Yeah, that one's a bit of a hard choice. Meanwhile, on Splinter Squadron, Jareen is in there getting some laser cannon and burst cannon down on both Charlie and Delta. Delta sitting there, patiently waiting to die. If we look at the board, though, we see that Raider is. Hold on, I gotta double check. Oh yeah, Raider was going towards Delta, knocks Delta out of the sky, only leaving Charlie to remain. But they still have majority morale, mind you. So they're not in a risky spot out here. C almost drained. Sculpt trying to get a pick on Spoonie. Gets the ion out, gets the dunk. It does happen. Morale bar is almost completely full. The MC-75 assault begins now. As the team is in there, Nop is over on top of the MC-75. Sculpt is coming in to get a shield pop. Jareen is in as well, targeting that shield gen to get a possible disable. Right shield gen has been disabled. Left shield gen has been disabled as well. Both shield gens are down. Not out, but disabled. Males have an app. They lose their Raider. We do see Reflex starting to dump into that hole. Tries to get a weak point. Cannot get eyes on target. Sees two weak points, though, on the top and bottom of the MC-75. Will be able to communicate that to his team. Morale's at half and half. The MC-75 is not dead yet.
This is a tough spot for them, I think.
It's now down to 47.
Yep. It's if they don't get it in this round, they're going to try to out of phase it.
Ooh, the tractor beams are down. The left and right shield are still up, however. Power is going to get nuked, but when that shield comes back up, they're not going to be able to easily out of phase this, and everybody starts dying to the DPS of the MC-75. It still has a bit of hole left, but the shields have already both come back up. Not a good spot to be in. We'll see how fast it comes down to speed too, because I mean, luckily Splinter still had up one of their cruisers, so they've still got a good defensive buffer. But that happened last time too. They had a good defensive buffer on the ISD and they lost it.
So I did notice. I'm glad you pointed this out, but they didn't actually kill all the shields, they disabled them, which has left them in such a bad
which is good for getting
situation.
down hull damage during the phase, but it completely destroys the opportunity to have a efficient out of phase base race on the ship. We've seen it multiple times where a base race comes down to like a Goliath, but if a shield's in the way of that Goliath, it's not gonna hit. The MC7, the ISD assault begins now. It's a morale's at half and half. I mean, it's definitely not in Hut Cartel's favor here, as you know, Spoonie's getting knocked out of the sky, gets beacon, has little shield. That'll be 10 points they don't want to lose, but knowing that he's flying defensively currently to not give up points while the rest of the team comes in to the shield. Star Dude coming in, gets off both cocks, fires them into that shield. The shield does not die though, is at 34. The right shield does fall, left shield just needs to be breathed on. It's at 1 health, quite literally. The flip is there, but the hull of the ISD is completely full, which is definitely not a good spot to be in for Hut Cartel. I don't, unless they prove me wrong, they're attempting to base race right now with Star Dude behind the ISD, but the MC75,
my hands are sweaty,
Splinter's
man.
already there. Meanwhile, you see right shield does fall on the MC75. It's down to 22. Left shield still up, mind you, but we see McClunky coming in trying to finish off that other shield. Meanwhile, on the ISD, it's slowly taking damage, but not entirely. Yeah, this is yeah, the MC75 is down to 4, down to 1. It does fall, and Splinter takes game number 4, making this a 2-2 series.
Definitely, they tried. I mean, they did as much as they could. They weren't. I think if they didn't have the D buffer, they would have been able to take it all the way. But because they had to take out that frigate first, and then go on to the ISD, it was a big struggle for them, and it lost them a lot of time, and ultimately they had a player kill loss because of it.
Nop with that 777 cap ship damage. Lucky numbers here. It was jackpot. Bada bing, bada boom.
Woo. Okay.
Yeah, game number 4. It's getting dragged out to a 5-game semi-final between Hut Cartel and Splinter Squadron. We'll see what happens. Yavin was already picked, so it's not going to happen again.
They're
That's
tied
usually
up.
like
Are we going to see Sisabo?
I don't know. Definitely not going to be seeing Xavian again. Sad face, but it makes sense. The AI is unbalanced on that map.
Yeah.
With 3 spawning on one side versus 5. So we're down to 2 map choices, and I'm struggling in my head to keep track of which 2 are left. I know Sisabo is 1.
Sisabo. Okay.
Yeah, and I think the voice in my ear told me it's going to be Sisabo for the final map of this series. So we'll have to see how it goes.
R1 should be happy right now. His favorite map is going to be finishing off this game of Splinter Squadron versus Hut Pink Cartel. Oh my goodness.
I don't know who's going to win.
I don't either.
Yeah. It's been good games to watch so far.
What's going on right now? Like, oh my goodness. What are you expecting? Like, I would have expected Yavin as the final destination for this. Like, usually it's saved for that last map, but we're getting Sisabo as the final decision maker, really. And I don't know how that's gonna work for both of these teams.
Oh yeah. Oh, and we got a faction too. Hut's gonna be taking Empire on this one, so Splinter's gonna be going on New Republic. So we're gonna see quite a bit of defenders coming out from Hut. We'll see how Splinter responds to that.
Oh boy, this is intense, man. Oh my goodness.
I don't know who's gonna win.
They're both in their preferred faction. They're both on a pretty, I'd say, even map, right? There isn't like a preferred faction for Sisabo, is there?
No, there isn't. Well, you could argue with like, nah, no, it's pretty even. It's pretty even. Might be like a slight New Republic bias, but I think it's a very even map, to be honest with you.
Okay, so we've got a pretty even map. We've got a pretty even spread. Both of them are on their preferred faction. Hut Cartel with the Empire, and Splinter Squadron with the New Republic. I expect we're going to see similar layouts from both of them. Again, like,
oh yeah,
they haven't been adjusting much. We're going to see 2 Y bombers, we're going to see 2 X-wings, and we're going to see a support. And then on the Hut Cartel side, we're going to see 3 defenders, a bomber, and support. So
yeah, that's what I think too.
maybe we see all B-wings and we see all interceptors.
A man can dream, but I doubt they want to throw the match. But a man can dream, of course.
Come on. Gentleman's agreement that all B
Gentleman's agreement.
all all support on the other team.
Yeah, I'm about to say, like, what would even be matching up with a B-wing? Yeah, like 5 Reapers.
Yeah.
All with beacons and targeting mask.
Yeah.
So everybody's always invisible and B-wings are always weak.
I wanted to see that at some point in the future. Definitely. I want
Very goofy.
to see that.
Oh, it's been a good day. So many matches have happened so far. Let's look back. I want to see what we've seen so far. Tangerine Squadron versus Hut Cartel. That was a 3-1 where Hut Cartel won that one. Splinter versus Savrib was a 3-1. Baywatch to Hell Porks a 3-0. And IG to Rancor was a 3-0. But meanwhile, we get into the semifinals. And we see, let me just refresh the page, 3-1 IG over Baywatch. And now we're going into a 2-2 Splinter Hut Cartel best of 5. Again, on stream, we haven't seen a sweep. These have always gone to at least 4 games. And I don't know who's going to be winning game number 5 here. Are we going to be seeing a grudge rematch between IG and Splinter based off the last Cal Cup? Or are we going to be seeing Hut Cartel going all the way and fighting IG at the top? We'll see how it goes.
I don't know. Who's your bet?
Oh, I mean, Splinter has drugged themselves out of best of 5s in the 5th game before. That's become a thing that they've been known to do before. Multiple times. But I want to root for the team that hasn't gone to grand finals before. So I'm going to say Hut Cartel.
Yeah,
Because they definitely
I love
have
the Splinter
impressed me
Squadron
today.
boys. I love to see them play. I am rooting for Hut Cartel because we haven't seen them take it all the way. I'd love to see that. Just gonna root for the underdogs here because they've been such a fun one to watch.
Because like I've seen IG versus Splinter. We all have, and I'm sure some people have seen IG versus Hut, but I can't think off the top of my head when I saw that matchup. So I want to see it personally and see how those two teams play against each other because Squadrons has a lot of personality in your strats and your ship choice, as it's been seen, where there's not just like one clear way to do this. Teams are getting wins on each other by having different loadouts, you know? So I would love to see it, to be honest.
Same here.
Looks like lobby is up. Let me get myself in there and we can see game number 5 of semi number 2. We ain't on the finals. We're on a nail biter of a semifinal between Splinter Squadron and Hut Cartel. Again, each team gets 2 victories. Whichever one wins this game goes all the way to finals.
Yeah, it almost feels like finals, but we still have another whole round.
I know, more games. It was quite a good day for watching some fun Squadrons matches.
Both of these teams are acting like it's finals for sure. They're pulling out their best matches so far, and each of them are cranking things up to 11.
Oh, so I typed in an incorrect password on one of these. Again, I just can't type today, folks. It's I don't know what it is.
It's all part of it, man. Have you tried Star War?
Have I tried a Star War? I'll start a Star War. I don't even know what to start a Star War over.
The B-wing, obviously.
Start a Star War in the chat.
Yeah, B-wing, best wing.
Yeah. I guess I could start a Star War in the chat. While we're waiting for this game, you'll still be in the delay, so it doesn't matter. Chat, what do you think could be done to... I know, we're not getting patches, but this is a land of hypotheticals, and we're And we're just having some fun here. What could be done to the B-Wing to better its viability as a ship in the game's engine, in the way the game works? I want to hear your thoughts. And I know it's a futile one because the game is end of life. But it's a little fun experiment. Again, I want to start a Star War. I want to see what you guys think. Because right now, right, the B-Wing doesn't really have much viability besides like me going into ladder and stomping until I get to a tier that I can't do that anymore. So
exactly. Bring us all of your answers.
Yeah. Somebody says immediately nerf the B-Wing. Eat Papa.
Too OP.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah, this final map's gonna be Sissybo. Like I said before, Hut Cartel is gonna be on the Galactic Empire. Splinter's gonna be on the New Republic again. We're gonna see quite a number of defenders, most likely coming out. They've done that every single game they've had Empire on stream so far today.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, going to see the 2x2y in support coming out of Splinter. Again, that's a pretty standard loadout in how they like to play and how their strats are formed. And again, there are the 3 defenders. The 1 bomber, which is Sheriff, and Stardude running that targeting beacon supply droid. Yeah.
And I mean, they found what works, and they're rocking and rolling it. It's just funny that we haven't seen a major shift in their strategy the entire game.
Oh yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I mean, they're going 2-2, so it ain't necessarily broke. And
Exactly.
they're trading blows back
It's only
and
half
forth.
broke.
Looking at these loadouts, of course, pretty straightforward. Proton Ion for the X-Wings, Y-Wing, Multi-Lock Goliath, and not bringing supply droid targeting beacon. And on the Empire, again, those 3 defenders, right? We got Defender running Cluster Conk, Ion Anti-Starfighter. So 3 different loadouts for these defenders. The Bomber, of course, Multi-Lock Goliath, and Stardude in the Reaper, Ion Cannon, Targeting Beacon, and Supply Droid with Agile Hold to slip and slide around and keep those Empire ships alive.
The droid is back.
Yeah, as it waddles around
Yes.
like me at 3 a.m. going to my fridge from my PC to grab a pint of Ben & Jerry's. Well, I don't know if that's where everybody's at locally, but that's definitely my weak spot. And just
Oh yeah.
the half
Ben &
baked is
Jerry's.
super good, man. We're not sponsored by them, but that's a unsponsored take. That's good. But speaking of sponsors, while we're sitting having a good time waiting for the map to load up, we're going to mention our sponsor today. It is Make-A-Wish. The team here is excited to support Make-A-Wish for this final stretch of the Cal Cup. We're asking you, the community, to help us reach a goal of 5,000 Canadian dollars so we can help make some wishes come true. To support or donate, check out tgs.gg/WISH. Again, tgs.gg/WISH.
Wish.
Yeah, wish.
And
As
here we go.
these teams get into this game, they're going to wish they are going to be the winners. That was an attempt at a segue. It happened. Again, the map
These
is
teams
Sissybo.
are each wishing for a victory here.
There
in this
we
game.
go. A little smoother than I could get out. Let's see how these teams line up. Immediately, Reflex finding that one AI that always hits terrain and it's down to 3 health. And when the AI spawn for the New Republic. 1 minute and 35 seconds to go. The teams are lining up for their shots. It's still half and half. We do see Reflex immediately getting some lasers down and multi-locks down on these AI, getting some points for Splinter, but getting Ion losing all shields, possibly going to get nuked out of the sky. At 44 hull, does get a repair droid, is not going to die today.
Still alive.
Meanwhile, Hut Cartel does get a Raider and some AI back and forth. Quite a slugfest. Both teams want to win this. Again, everybody wants to win, but this is like a game 5. Both teams have convinced themselves they're going to win this game. Morale's at half and half. 47 seconds to go. It's still anybody's opening phase out here. Desperately trying to transition to get some player kills. Reflex is down. Corvette's getting nuked into by Spoonie. That'll be 20 points back towards Empire that almost will flip it. It'll be just a little below flip. It's getting nuked into by the team. There it is. Just kidding. I'm bad at doing visual cues. That was definitely enough to get into the beginning assault phase. A full morale bar for Hut Cartel.
It's a strong opening for them. Will they capitalize on it when take out? I mean, their tried and true strategy, if they can pull it off, is to get both of those frigates out, and at the same time, in enough left that they can build up that morale after the flip.
Oh yeah. Meanwhile, in this assault phase, we do see D's shields have been completely drained. The hull still sits somewhat, and it's getting slowly drained as well, but the morale is going back towards half and half by the second. AI are being successfully found by Splinter Squadron. Now it's at exactly half and half. D is sitting around half hull. We're going to see a rotation from Spoonie to take out the shields on Charlie as well. Rotates back to Delta. Another stack of 5 AI are found by a Goliath on the New Republic. Desperately trying to get this Nebulon down to out of phaseable. The whole team is there. It's down to 14. It is 100% out of phaseable. There's the flip as they lose their Raider, but with that Nebulon down to 8 health. 7 now. That'll be a quick 15 points back towards Hut Cartel. And there it is.
Boom.
Meanwhile, Splinter Squadron beginning their approach on these cruisers.
So
we do see Sculpt coming in with some burst cannons to immediately start knocking down these shields. Not contested either. Well, just kidding. A beacon did go out on them. Whew.
Okay, so we got D, all the shields out. Are they going to be working on C, or are they going to stick with D?
Looks like they're sticking with the D. I mean, some shield chipping did happen. Looking at the mini-map, we do see the Corvette is coming in. Well, if my map will load, hold on. The Corvette is coming in to Delta, which is going to help because Delta shields have been drained. But on the flip side, if Hut Cartel does not knock down that Corvette, it will deny Splinter an out of phase if they want to play it like that. There's some meta strat here if they want to do that. It all depends on how confident they're feeling. I think Delta's too high health. It is too high health. Definitely out of phaseable, as we do see them coming into out of phase at 16, 15 health. And Sculpt is coming in. It's at 12 now. And 10 is definitely going to fall. Meanwhile, though, Hut Cartel back on the offense is just rotary dumping into Charlie, as it's not getting defended right now by anybody, really. It has been beaconed. It's below 50 now. That 15 points might quickly be negated if nobody dies. The Sheriff playing carefully. Star Dude does fall, though, giving 10 points towards Splinter Squadron. Meanwhile, the rest of the team is still coming in. They lost their bomber. Their bomber is just resupplying currently to get back some hull. And the morale is now at half and half. Again, Splinter playing quickly. They don't want to give this up, right? This is do or die.
Yep.
This game is not for mistakes. C nearly almost dead. Sheriff still far away from the MC-75. There it goes. The assault begins now. Sheriff within 1.7k of the shield gen. The rest of his team is there as well. Left shield gen does take a bit of damage. He's coming in, though. He boosts in. He's drifting in. Cannot get eyes on target. He goes and notices the other shield, though, starts dumping into the other shield. It has been beacon dumping into it. It does fall! Both shields are dead on the MC-75. The morale is being drained, however, from Hut Cartel. Looks like they're going to go for a pop on targeting as well. Gets down targeting. The flip does happen.
Wow.
Looks like the Sheriff is going to possibly suicide. Oh, no, looks like he's going to successfully peel away from that MC-75. Splinter in a tough pickle.
They are getting pickled right now.
Yeah, it's they have to assault down Charlie and get the Star Destroyer in a easy park spot. Not like a hard park spot, because the problem is with targeting down and all that jazz down, and I'm sure weak points are about to be generated on the MC-75 anyway. Hut Cartel's gonna come in and just start like rotary nuking into that bad boy. So they've got to play this very flawlessly. So we'll see how it goes.
So a question for you: if you were Hot Cartel right now, would you make the decision to try to camp it or push Splinter?
I would probably camp my ISD right now because my shields are still up, right? If they get in and they successfully knock down like both shields and knock them down and get the ISD below like 60 hull, I'd probably quickly rotate. We do see left shield has been disabled, not destroyed. There we go. Left shield has been destroyed. But a bit of aggro is coming on. To Scalp Waka, gets Ion, starts to get dumped into, does live, however, as they're trying to take down the second shield as well. Second shield has taken some damage, but yeah, I would definitely camp it because they're in a position with the morale the way it is right now that they'd have to get down the hole to like 25 left with the morale bar they have, which is a difficult spot to be in, considering that the farmer for Hut Sheriff is not being contested right now. A player kill does go out. Jareen does fall. Again, mistakes are not good to have here, but both shields do fall. Technically, parking can happen, but the flip is here. It is a very high percentage of hull left on the Star Destroyer. We do see them attempting to begin the park. Two of them are back there. A third one is attempting to come out and meet them out there. Meanwhile, the rest of the team, it looks like all of Hut Cartel is going into the MC-75 and not bothering with a defender. Not the ship per se, but the role of defending the ISD. Because again, the ISD is at 74. And once the whole entire team gets on the MC-75, it's going to fall quickly. It's now down to 33 and falling.
Yeah, very quickly.
And the just parking the ISD is not going to be able to make up for the deficit of all 5 of them going in there on a weekend MC-75. And we do see that!
There we go!
Hut Cartel knocking Splinter Squadron out of the tournament, going to the finals.
Brings it back out, and we're going to see a Hut Cartel versus Imperial Guard in the finals. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Looking at the scoreboard, though, I mean, we see McClunky. Hold on, let me load up my scoreboard here. McClunky with the 32K, 1127 AI. Reflex with 16 AI, 22K. Jareen with 48K, 00. Nop with 01. Sculp with 00, 44K. And on Hut Cartel, 1 kill, 0 deaths, 34 AI, 45K capture damage on Sheriff. Lemming with 20, 11K. Spoonie with 20, 36K. Liven with 1088K. And of course, their support Stardew with 02, 5.5K. Hut Cartel taking it to the finals in a game number 5.
There we go. Oh
yeah.
This is Squadrons, baby.
Yeah, Squadrons, baby. With that, we have our finals contenders set. It's gonna be Imperial Guard versus Hut Cartel, Hut Pink Cartel. It'll be fun to watch. I don't know who's going to win this. I genuinely don't know who's going to win this.
It's going to be fun. Both teams have had a great showing, and with that, I'll see you on another tournament. So I'll be hopping off, and a little hammer, and R1 will be returning to finish it off with the finals.
Yeah.